Could win, but comes with a lot of emotions. You go out there, you have we had quite a few turnovers. We won some situational battles. I mean, there are a lot of highs and lows from this football game today, but ultimately, you come in on the road, win by 2 touchdowns against a really good football team. We've had some adversity throughout the week, not playing last week, playing today, but guys responded. We played a lot smarter in the second half than we may have in the first, but we beat the team that everyone thought was gonna win this thing. So I'm excited for our guys, but I'm also excited for the future because we still got quite a few things to work on, and we still have time to do so.
Coach, first off, congratulations on
Thank you.
FAMU pick up where they left off at. FAMU has won, I believe, 17 consecutive SWAC games, and the whole thing goes to beat a man, you got to beat the man.
Yep.
Nobody has beat FAMU yet. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, amazing you say that. Beginning of the first half, throughout the first half, it wasn't us. It wasn't them beating us. We were beating ourselves. I think that we put a nice run together. Last loss was the opening game of the season in 2022, and it's a tribute to Coach Simmons, what he did and what he's done. Tribute to what we've done up to this point as well. But it's just championship DNA that's in that locker room. The Ashton Grables, Jalen Goss, the Wu Deans, the Jamari Gassets, Alan Smiths, Alcorn, Kendall Bowler, Deco Wilson, the list goes on and on. Those guys stepped up when needed, made some big plays when needed. But again, our next game is against another quality opponent on the road. If we make some of those same mistakes in a week or so, I don't know if we have the same outcome.
Coach, you mentioned the gaps in having the extra week off, and then you come right back. There was a hurricane-induced gap, and now a scheduled gap. And to try to get momentum, that has to be kind of difficult because it disrupts any kind of momentum that you have.
Well, we went 2 weeks without taking anyone to the ground. So you worry about that. You worry about the game speed. Alabama State's a really fast football team. But it wasn't going to be a practice where we were going to take ourselves to the ground either, just to protect ourselves from injury. So anxious, excited to see how we would respond, in the first quarter. And I thought we picked up quite quickly as far as the game speed goes. But as I sit here and I got a lot of things in my mind as I talk about this game, but just the mental errors, but the positive things that we did in the second half. So I don't want to take away from this win. It's hard to win a game in the SWAC. It's hard to win on the road in the SWAC. And I'm extremely happy about the 17 straight wins. But in the back of my mind, I know we got to play better to achieve the goals that we've set for ourselves.
Coach,
it's a great shirt, by the way.
Thank you, Coach. Steve can't wait to see Coach Corner. Coach, have you focused on? We finally got some turnovers this game.
Yeah.
And defense played very well. Was that something that you focused on going and say, let's start getting turnovers? And then on the flip side, we'll still turn the ball on offense. Is that something that you're going to sit back and see what we can do better for that, Coach?
For the first thing, we didn't do anything differently. We talked about finishing. We've had some chances to finish plays and necessarily didn't catch the football or follow through with what we did. But Deco Wilson stepped in front, finished that play. T.J. Higgins getting over the top, finishing the play. Nayron Jenkins, finishing the play. Right, so. We didn't do anything differently. We didn't do anything that do any voodoo or anything of that nature. We just put ourselves in a position to finish play. I thought they did a good job preparing for Alabama State. And on the flip side, right, I want to say, I think we had 4 turnovers offensively at key times. I had a chance to put them away. And that's something that's happened in our other 2 wins where we've had chances to put teams away. But I think. We gotta assess our personnel in the games. I think at this time, when we get ourselves in the situation that we're in, we got some veterans that probably maybe should have been in that football game at that time. Not to discredit who was in the game, but I know we got guys that we feel can finish football games. So as a staff, we gotta truly look at who we put out on the field at certain times. We got a special group. We got a lot of special players. We also got a lot of championship DNA. We've got some veterans on that field, and you look at some of those turnovers when they were on the field. I have to look at who is on the field when those turnovers are happening, right? So again, happy, excited. But I just wish we can make it a hell of a lot easier on ourselves in some of these games. But the guys in that locker room, I'm proud of them, proud of the staff, proud of the university support. A lot of green, a lot of orange, a lot of both colors, right? So extremely happy for our fans that made the way to come to Montgomery. Extremely happy for our football team for, I guess, ruining a homecoming. They took that as a chip. Right, they took that as a shot. Trust me, our guys were ready for the challenge, and I'm excited to travel back with them with being 1-0 in the SWAC.
Coach, I know I recall back SWAC media day when they released the standings. They said FAMU second. You said what? All right, let's pick third. Where Alabama State was the #1 team. Did you feel like your guys kind of played with an extra sense of motivation with Alabama State being picked as the top team in the SWAC, and then have to come in here and play a homecoming on top of that?
I think our guys probably forgot about that. They were more talking about being the homecoming from another football team. But I don't need to motivate those guys. Those guys, we did a good job preparing. We did a good job of putting our guys in the right spot. I feel, that's the extra motivation they need. They trust us, and they trust that we're gonna put them where they need to be, and we executed. It's a long way to go, but to finish first, you got to continue winning. That's what we did today. It was not easy, even though it could have been. Credit to Coach Robinson and their staff, because they got turnovers as well, right? So they put themselves in a good spot as well. So we came here with the mission to be 1-0. We fulfilled that mission. We got to get back tomorrow and correct on some of the things that we need to make sure we're good with, because I can tell you, and I don't know if Jackson State won or not, but that we got another road battle that is going to be even tougher in the next week or so.
Coach, I want to ask a question. Once again, you talk week in and week out about one subject, the personal foul penalties.
Yeah.
What is something? Is it because the team is a very tough team and sometimes they can take it to the edge? Or what is it that we can do better, the team can do better to not get those penalties? Because sometimes we can tell it kind of tips the game back to the other side.
We had two, right? And they were and back to back, right? And it's like if you go into some of the other games, when we get a personal foul, it doesn't just affect that play, right? It affects the next play after. It affects the next play after, the drive after. So we had a personal foul on an extra point, one of our veterans, right? Then they kick the ball off to us. Then we have a personal foul on our kickoff return, right? And then what does that do to our drive? It starts our drive inside the 20, So, do I think James Ash is a selfish player? Not at all. He's the one that got the first one. But we have to understand that it's got to be bigger than us sometimes. Now, we didn't have any after that, had a stern talking to, but I don't ever want to have those kind of conversations. We have to realize that they're gonna catch us second, and that happened again today. So we'll continue to work it. He'll be disciplined tomorrow. Do I think James Ash did that on purpose? Do I think Cody Lawrence did that on purpose? No, but we got to continue to understand as a football team that it's bigger than us, and that's something that we'll continue to drill and continue to let them know. It didn't hurt us tonight, but it can hurt us down the road.
Coach, I got a question. What's your evaluation of Coach Patterson changing things up? Because obviously the running game was really working for Alabama State early on. But especially at halftime, you all made adjustments, and I don't know what you did, but it really stopped the run game pretty much cold.
Well, we gave up no yards. We had no passing yards in the first half, and they had 112 yards rushing in the first half, and half of that was on one run, And I'll take Deco Wilson on a one-on-one tackle with anybody in the conference. He just happened to miss that tackle, and it turned into a 60-something yard run. Then we got to the second half. Believe it or not, we didn't change much. We were more gap sound. We continue to be gap sound, and if you look at our Troy game, a couple weeks ago, we were actually a lot better on the run, and because our guys were taking care of their gaps and being where they needed to be. We got a chance to see them on film, right? We had 3 or 4 weeks of games that they have played, and we did a great job preparing for them. 0, 90, 23, 17, 94, number 5, 45. Our D-line and linebackers did a great job of fitting the run when needed be, and we did a good job, obviously, in the pass game being in the right spot. But tribute to Coach Patterson, man. He works extra hard. He knew he had a huge challenge in front of him. You know, they had 308 yards the previous game, and they were gonna stick to their gun to try to run the football. So credit to him. Credit to Coach Walker, Coach Pope, who was on Alabama State staff for the last couple of years, who came to be with us. So he was the one that got the game ball. But I think with both sides, our special teams, offense and defense, they know the work is. We still got work to do. Did we play a perfect game? No. And I know our staff and our players are going to strive to do that. But especially Coach Patterson, he's been taking it on the chin a little bit. The first 4 weeks being a new coordinator of the Dark Cloud defense, and hats off to him. He did a great job today. Great job making calls. Great job putting us in the right spot. And a lot of things that people didn't notice with him, he did an amazing job when we got to the sidelines, getting our guys in front of the iPads, fixing the things that we needed to fix. So tribute to him for getting us going, getting us ready, preparing us, and continuing with our guys playing throughout the evening.
Coach, looking at the resilience in this game, going into this back half of the schedule, what's kind of the mantra, going in as reigning Celebration Bowl champions? Well,
we gotta go 1-0. I mean, that's the thing for us. We did that today. Again, we'll celebrate as we get back. But we'll have our day of corrections tomorrow. We can't worry about late October, early November, late November. We got to prepare for another Saturday, right? So we got 2 weeks to get ready for a good football team, it'll be on the road. So we'll have to come with our best 70. It'll be in another type of setting, big time setting, with the stadium, the crowds, and we've been in that type of setting before. I can assure you, we'll be ready to go. But we've got 4 turnovers and we have costly penalties. I don't know if the game turns out the way it did today, but we'll continue to work, man. Trust me, we're gonna continue to work, and we're gonna continue to tell them that they're doing well, but also tell them where we need to improve, and that's something that we'll continue to do as a staff.
Coach, I have a question. Once again, I see you taking that gunslinger from Coach Simmons very early in the game, went for it on 4th down. Was it because, as you talked about, you had confidence in the defense instead of punting it in, as maybe tagging them deep?
When you go on the road, sometimes you got to take necessary shots. And believe it or not, we had the call that we wanted, where we actually weren't supposed to throw the ball down the field. If you watch the play, Carter Johnson is wide open in the flats. We wanted Kobe to take both defenders. And, Carter Johnson sitting there in the flats, but D. Rich saw something different. Either our guy was gonna be wide open, or down the field, or we were gonna get it to our guy in the flat. So we had a misread, but early in the game, right? I thought it was a good idea at that time, to take a shot. Didn't work out for us, but defense did a good job of getting the ball back for us, and I'm excited. When you're on the road, sometimes you got to take necessary shots, and at that time in the football game, I thought it would be a great call. Didn't work out for us, but defensively we did a good job getting the ball back.
One more question for Coach. Thank you.
Hey guys, appreciate you guys.